Everybody has a story to tell, and Mike's, I think, is a good one, and he's happy to share it.
I know when I lost my leg and was in a coma at age 18, my motorcycle accident, but now I'm really having this ability to keep on fighting and enjoying our life.
He gave up a lot when he lost his leg, but he was able to accommodate and excel at all those sports that he did with 2 legs, and maybe even a little bit better, you know. And so he's just always been just a fighter and just doesn't let fear or negativity get in the way of him getting done what he wants to get done. He was at a dental conference at the University of Minnesota, February 2010, and he said things just started to kind of close in like a tunnel, and he had a full-blown grand mal seizure, and it was upgraded to a grade 4 gliosarcoma. Dentistry was a passion for you. You loved what you did.
For sure.
Even getting the diagnosis of brain cancer, it was horrible. But when he had to actually sell his practice September of last year, it was one of the hardest things that he's ever had to do. You know, the way Mike's handled this right from the beginning with such positivity and optimism, and with God at the center of it, you know, it's been inspiring right from the beginning. It's been a horrible thing, and our world was turned upside down 2.5 years ago. But I think you're a great example of what it's like to face adversity and persevere.
Thank you.
Vivacious and just very loving, very loving. She grew up in an orphanage, and so family became everything to her.
The hug that you got from her was an unbelievable hug. I miss that to this day. She truly was the pillar of our family.
Oh yeah, she was.
She was. My mother was strong with her grammar and her English. So when I'd visit her, she written Sherry's name wrong, written neurology wrong, and went to go see her internist, and right away he sent her in for a scan at Unity.
They did the chemo and radiation after they took out the tumor. And
he said that he hoped he had gotten everything, but couldn't be 100% positive that there wasn't remnants or that it hadn't projected further into the brain.
I don't think it ever was gone, but they said it came back within a very short time. And so we had about 6-7 good months with her before she passed away then.
They started very, very young. They were in high school.
They really truly had a love that you don't see in very many people. He would write letters daily to just try to get himself through it, and what a great person he thought she was, and how in love he was with her. And even when she passed, just about every day he'd go to her gravesite and leave a letter in a little plastic bag.
I am Kyhaunn Woods. Came down with glioblastoma.
We have 3 children: Maxwell, who is 6, Miles, who's 5, and Amari, who is 2. We both went on athletic scholarships to Weber State University. I played basketball and Kyhaunn played football and ran track. He started teaching, so he was a para, so he worked with autistic children. And then he went on to coaching track and football, and then he started in sport-specific training from swimming to volleyball to soccer. You take your vows in sickness and in health, and you hope that sickness day never comes, but it came. It was December, and we were going to Colorado to visit my sister. And about 2 hours after arrival, Kyhaunn got violently ill. So we got him to the ER. They got him in for a CT scan, obviously, and you get the diagnosis on Christmas Eve that your husband has glioblastoma multiforme, stage 4, and the prognosis is 3 to 14 months. So we just have tackled it head on from there.
At my diagnosis, I had dizziness, which identified as the spinnies.
She had upper respiratory symptoms, lots of colds, and they thought it was involving her ears. And then eventually the ENT ordered the MRI, looking for something in her sinuses. And then the morning of her 9th birthday was when we got the call saying she had a tumor in her brainstem. The doctor, told us, of course, that it's an inoperable, essentially incurable, that there's only one treatment that they can give you, which is radiation. And if it comes back, that there's nothing that they know that they can do with it.
With the treatment, I had breathing problems, and I had to take it easy with sports and gym class and activities, which really stunk for me because that's, a big part of my life. I love, running around and being active. I decided I was going to tell my class because if you told one person, it would just spread, and I didn't want it to be like that. I wanted me to tell the whole class. And once I got it out, everybody understood so well, it felt like, and they treated me just like a normal kid.
After that, we got her a shirt that said, "This is my cancer fighting t-shirt," and she took me through it, the way she handled everything.
I just try to look on the positive side of things, because if something were to happen to me and I live my life negative and thinking of the negative side of things, there would be no point of living life at all.
Our smiling little children keep us going. Thank heavens for them as blessings.
I laugh at them here and there. They've shown me a lot.
When I was in school, 2 Gopher football players were volunteering, and they were in gym class. And I was talking to my friends about my 1-year anniversary of surviving cancer, and that, I was so happy and that it was so awesome. Later, he went to Coach Kill and said, "You need to meet this little girl," because, he's a cancer survivor. So we just talked for like 2 hours, about everything, about life and, our ups and downs and our journeys. And the home opener, we ran the team out, and that was like the best. It was so much fun.
We're a very competitive duo here, being in college athletics, and it's always been like, well, if you're gonna bring it, we're gonna bring it harder. And that's kind of been our slogan, Game on Cancer. We're not backing down, we're not gonna stop fighting.
So, boom, there it is.
That's his slogan.
I had to drive Miss Daisy for about 1.5 years.
Right.
And he's becoming a good passenger. Doesn't grab the steering wheel anymore.
It's a challenge when we're going the less perfect way to drive.
I had pigtails in the day we went to mold my mask for my radiation treatment. And we called it the mask with horns because they molded it with the pigtails in there, and they just told us that every day I had to make sure I had pigtails in.
She had a great sense of humor.
But she used humor to get through stress.
And at work, that's where the clowns come in. She got one clown, and pretty soon physicians and patients were bringing her clowns. She would bring a frightened child or any family member or an elderly person in particular and have them look at those so she could tell stories about them.
And I think that's why we all got into the medical field and why we all tend to be nurturers, and it is all from our mother.
That's why it's so important finding a cure for these kind of brain tumors. What it took away was this amazing woman who had so much love.
He's amazing, because this disease is just foul, and it takes things away from you. It has taken his ability to drive, his ability to play sports, and his ability to work, which are big things, but they're just things. And that in itself stinks. But now it's starting to take bits and pieces of him, who he is. And that's what's hard to watch.
With what you've been diagnosed, it just, it breaks your heart, it tears you down. You have a lot of weak moments, but we are just rallied around. Everyone is just so willing to help, from delivering meals to mowing the grass to getting groceries for us to praying. And that's all we ever ask for, is for prayers.
I was deep in faith. I was pretty deep in faith. And this just brought me a little bit deeper.
Having that faith, it has definitely given us a peace. We're hoping for that earthly miracle, and that may be Jesus' plan. If it's not, and he needs this incredible guy, you know, we can be at peace with that. It's not going to be easy, for sure, but they're going to get us far.
Our blessings are abundant. You know, every night we thank God for the day and we ask for one more, and we keep getting one more day all the time.
I know there's still, challenges ahead, and I'm still going to fight. I'm not going to quit at this point. I'm just going to know that even still there's hope.
You know, what will we have without hope? We always have to hope for the best. We have to put it in God's hands, but we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep hoping for the best, and we're going to do everything in our power to get through this.
My hope and prayer is that someday there's a cure and that nobody has to deal with the devastating effects of this disease.
We've come so far, even since my mom passed. And so with this continued research, just imagine what they can do.
I would just like to say thank you for all of you coming tonight, and that having so many people here is so special for me, and I'm sure all the other families who are going through what we are.